Game is a monster. Game is a monster.
Yeah, man.
He'll just have his hands full.
Hello again, and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, as Royce the 5'9" went in on a couple of topics recently on IG, from Eminem and Slaughterhouse on Who's to Blame, an Eminem and J. Cole collaboration that nearly happened, to more on the game's recent rants about Eminem. And before we get started, Rise and Fall of Slaughterhouse is out now, so check it out to get Crooked and Joel's side of the story. So we'll start with Eminem and Slaughterhouse on Who's to Blame, and Royce shared his thoughts on the matter.
Do you blame Marshall for our house? Do I blame him? Do I blame him for our house? What you mean? Like the way that it came out? Because input is soul into our house. Input probably more work into Welcome to Our House. He put in just as much work as I did. You know what I mean? And like when I collaborate with somebody, especially somebody like him, first of all, I'm gonna always trust his judgment. Same way with Preem. I'm a trust Preem's judgment. I'm a firm believer in roles. People playing roles depending on what the situation is. Whenever I'm working with him, I play a position. Very rarely do I try to take a lead position just because I know that that's something that he's used to doing. Same with Preem. You know, like we disagreed on a lot of things as far as mixes and like that. And if it's something that he feels super strongly about, I'll go against my better judgment, because I know if Preem is wrong, then I'm willing to just take the L with him. If he's right, you can't be more right than when Preem is right. And I feel the same way about Marshall. You know what I'm saying? So Marshall had a vision for it. You know what I mean? Like, and then when we put it out, the fans thought that it was too polished. You know what I mean? So just judging by the feedback, I just learned a lot about the way that artists tend to approach music when we go from buzzing on the underground to on a mainstream platform. We start trying to acquiesce to that space, and a lot of times that reach is what we don't like, if that makes any sense. You know, like certain records that sound like you going for a single, we can hear that, and we don't tend to like those kind of records. You know what I mean? So one thing that I knew about Slaughterhouse and the brand is people like the rawness of it. They like the authenticity of it. They like the, what's the word I'm looking for? The organic nature in which we were doing things. It wasn't a whole lot of thought that went into it. Yeah, once we got on the major, it was a lot more thought. It was a lot more thought, because we went in feeling like we were against the 8 ball. So I'm very aware of all of the mistakes that we made creatively, and I can take the blame for a lot of those. As far as Marshall, to answer your original question, do I blame him? I don't blame him for anything creatively. You know what I mean? Like I see the mistakes that were made, but I told him don't trip on that. You know what I mean? Because he felt like, damn, man, I touched it too much. I did too much, and I was just like, nah, don't even do that. You know what I mean? Like, if it's an L to take, we're going to take this L together. We're not going to do the finger pointing thing, because it was all good. It was all good when he was in there doing it. We was all in the studio together. When our house came on in the room, we was all in there excited. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like keep that same energy. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really nobody to blame, man. You know what I mean? Like that's just art. It's like you go in there, you try to hit target. Sometimes you fall just a little short of the target, but you learn from that. You know, so I was cool after the album came out, and I still fuck with the album. I just understand what it was that people didn't like about it, because the general consensus was people thought it was a good album. It just wasn't the right album. It wasn't what they wanted from us at that time. It was almost like we skipped steps. You know what I mean? We skipped over the whole process and went straight to the celebrate. You know what I mean? And you know, it was just a misfire.
Of course, he was asked about Joe blaming Eminem, and Royce responded that they'll have to ask Joe about that, not him. And for those who believe Eminem's beats ruined the project, this is what Royce had to say about that.
You said they blamed his beats. Em didn't really have beats on there. He played on top of other people's beats, but he didn't really do a lot of producing on there. I think he just added music and just polished up something that people kind of would have preferred it to just be raw. You know what I mean? But I appreciate the work that he put in. Can you bring Cole and M together? We need that. I tried to do that one time. I can't remember what song that was, what album that was rather. It was right after Cole just went on like a long streak of just toe tagging people's songs, and then it was right when he was about to go back into like seclusion and shit like that, and we ain't catch him in enough time for him to be able to make M's deadline because he had some other stuff he was doing. But that's definitely something that both of them have been talking about. So I don't know whenever the right time is when they're gonna do it.
And Royce also spoke about The Game, who's been on a rant about Eminem, and this has sparked reactions which we'll get to in a bit.
Zombie, you say The Game on some shit. I heard his album was crazy. I heard it was crazy. Say like right now, you know, M my fave, but Game rapping different. Oh yeah, I mean yeah, shit, Game always.
We were just talking about that.
I don't think I remember a time where Game ain't been top tier. All right, cool. So what you were saying about Game now? You at Game Studio now?
Every day, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. He's rapping at a very, very high level.
He got something to prove. Just counting him out.
Well, he just tweeted. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but he was like, if Nick pull up to the studio, he got a 16 ready or whatever they want to do.
Who is he talking about?
Him.
What is he ready for?
I guess he just want to get in there and see who can rap at the highest level.
They did some shit together before, right?
I don't think I've ever heard a song with them together.
I feel like I heard one with them together. Don't Game and Marshall got a joint together? That was like on one of Game projects?
Yeah, no, on the documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hard too.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think it would be dope. You know what I mean? Like a quick 24 who could get in there first and do what they do.
Yeah.
Can I say something though? Like in the drink champ, because I watched the drink champs. I watched the whole 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun because I'm with it every other day. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know he was trying to say he's up there with anybody. He wasn't really trying to. But Nori was like, "But you saying you want to smoke with him?" He like, "No, I'm saying that whoever." You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, "I know Game be like, okay, I'm gonna just say it." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I've seen it. It.
So,
Whenever anybody mention M name, you know they kind of like they make it a headline and shit like that. But I personally, when I seen it, I just feel like every MC should feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, and that's why people don't. And you know what? Somebody said it to me earlier. It was like, you know what I mean? We supposed to feel like that when we doing it at a high level. You know what I mean? We supposed to feel like that. You know what I mean? Other people can't understand that. You know?
I mean, man, shit, Game is a monster. Game is a monster.
Yeah, man.
He'll just have his hands full. You know what I'm saying? M is a hard dude to out rap, man. Because
Hey, I know. That's my favorite.
Nine times out of 10, you're gonna be sending him your verse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna be sending him your verse. So when he gets your verse, he gonna listen to your verse and he gonna aim to out rap you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he ain't trying to get out rap, never. He don't care what the scenario is. That competitive edge is always there.
So first of all, it's quite interesting that someone in Game's camp doesn't even know that Game and Eminem have a song together. But moving on, they say every rapper is supposed to feel like they are the best, which is true, but Game's rants have gone above and beyond. He was literally using McDonald's as a reference point to talk about Eminem's music, like we covered in the last video, and was downplaying Eminem's RIAA achievements. So no, it's not just Game doing what a rapper is supposed to do, he's trying to stir things up to promote his album, using Eminem's name. And Royce's take on this has sparked reactions online. On the reports on this on Twitter for instance, some believe Royce vs Game would be solid, and on the Hip Hop DX's report on this, here's one of the more popular reactions. Game already has his hands full battling his bipolar disorder and his split personality disorder. I really don't think he needs to be worrying about battling anybody right now. he needs mental health seriously. He also needs a better manager with more integrity, cause Whack 100 is about as trustworthy as a priest hiding in Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. You know something is getting grabbed, taken advantage of, and violated, and you know damn well he's never gonna tell the truth. Perhaps a bit heavy-handed, but game's been flip-flopping too much lately, especially the comments about how Kanye did more for him in 2 weeks than Dre did in his entire career. And over to you guys, share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.